Hey guys, welcome back on the Acreage. I'm Leanne, and today we're gonna make homemade yogurt. Our family for the past year has been trying to make more of our foods from scratch, and that includes yogurt, which is surprisingly easy. So I'm gonna show you how we do that. Let's get started. So when we make yogurt, we have to start with a starter, kind of like sourdough bread. Yogurt is a fermented food, so we need to have a starter. We're gonna actually use homogenized milk, and we're going to add lemons to it to produce our starter. Now, lemons, that can be hard to always just keep on hand. So we actually have a bunch of freeze-dried citrus fruit here. There's lemons, there's limes, there's oranges. But I'm gonna fish around for the lemons, and I'm gonna rehydrate them before I add them to our milk mixture. Now that our lemons have rehydrated, we can add them to our milk. And there's really no exact measurement with this. I've got about, I don't know, a cup of milk in there. You see the lemons are nice and they're pliable again. I don't wanna squeeze them too much and release all of their juice. We're gonna put the lid back on, and what we have to do is now incubate this in a warm spot for 24 hours. So a really good way to do this is put it in your oven with only the oven light on. It'll keep it nice and warm, and this is just gonna turn really nice and thick. So while that starter incubates, this is one that I already had prepared. And as you can see, it's very nice and thick. It smells nice and lemony. And this is what we're gonna use to make our yogurt. So this recipe calls for 2 quarts of milk, and we're gonna get that in our saucepan. Okay, so we're going to cook this yogurt to 180 degrees. That's just to kill any of the bad bacteria so that when we introduce the good bacteria from the starter, they're not kind of fighting against each other. So we're gonna continuously whisk this and keep an eye on the temperature because we do not want to bring it to boiling. So 180 degrees, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so as we keep going, cooking the milk, you can see it's really starting to get frothy. And that's how we know we're almost there. Let's just check the temperature. We're at about 140, so almost there. Okay, there we have it. We're at temperature, so now we're gonna turn it off and let it cool. Okay, so now we're gonna cool down our milk. And at this point, we can add in our vanilla. You don't have to add vanilla if you would prefer plain yogurt. My family really likes vanilla. So we're gonna add that in. And we're also gonna add half a cup of honey. You could use a different sweetener, but we prefer to use honey. For the vanilla, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon, a little extra if you really like it, extra vanilla-y. And you guys, this really smells like liquid marshmallows. It's really good. Now that our milk has cooled down to between 120 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit, we can add our starter, but I'm also going to add some organic grass-fed beef gelatin. This just helps it gel together a little more. I've seen some people use it and some people not use it. I think it's just a personal preference. So today we're going to use it. And all you need is about 1 tablespoon mixed in a little bit of cold water, and then you can mix that right in. So here's our water. And I'm just gonna do about a tablespoon. And now we can mix it in. Whisk it in, make sure it's all really mixed well together. And now on to our starter. Now this starter is beautiful and thick, and it has a light fragrance of lemon. And we want to add in 2 heaping tablespoons of the starter. So I'll give you a look here on how nice and thick it is. You can see how beautiful that is. Nice and thick. And now we'll just mix that in. And that's it, we're done. All we have to do is pour it into our jars, and then we're gonna incubate it in the oven with only the oven light on. And it'll stay in there for about 8 to 12 hours. You can go even a little longer than that. I think I've heard up to 20 hours. So let's get them poured into the jars. So here we go. And this should make about 2.5 quarts, give or take. Now we're just gonna get all of our lids screwed on. And it's really that simple. Now let's get these into the oven. Guys, now that it's been about 12 hours, we're going to take our yogurt out of the oven and into the fridge to cool. Now that our yogurt has chilled in the fridge, it's time to serve it up. So let's take a look at it. You can top your yogurt with anything that you want. Raisins, jam, honey. You can eat it plain because we flavored it with vanilla. But my kids, they really like jam. So let's add some of that. This is our homegrown raspberry jam. Let's call the kids up and see what they think. Well, it looks like they enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.